Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button like this video and turn on post notifications so you never miss any hot and trending gist. Because today's topic, this one is deep, it's controversial, and it's got fans seriously debating like never before. All right, let's get into it. So right now, the conversation around Maurice, Sam, and Pearl Watts has gone beyond just, are they together? Fans are now asking something much bigger. Something more serious. Something that touches on privacy, transparency, and expectations. And that question is simple, but very loaded. Should they tell the public the truth? Now, at first glance, this might sound straightforward. But when you really break it down, it's not. Because this isn't just about Maurice and Pearl. This is about how we, as fans, relate to public figures, how much we expect to know, and where we draw the line between curiosity and entitlement. So let's break this down properly, from all angles. First, let's talk about why fans even want the truth in the first place. Because this didn't just come out of nowhere. This has been building, over time, through multiple moments. From their on-screen chemistry to their off-screen interactions to their social media presence to the patterns fans believe they've spotted, all of this has created a situation where people feel like they've seen enough. Enough to ask questions. Enough to expect answers. Now here's the thing. When people follow a story for a long time, they start to feel connected to it. Almost like they're part of it. And that's exactly what's happening here. Fans feel invested, emotionally invested. They've watched the interactions, they've analyzed the details, they've debated the possibilities. So now, naturally, they want clarity. They want confirmation. They want to know if everything they've been noticing actually means something. Now let's talk about expectations, because this is where things get a bit tricky. When someone is in the public eye, people often feel like they have a right to know about their life. But the real question is, where does that right end? Because being a public figure doesn't mean giving up all privacy. And that's something that often gets overlooked. Now let's switch perspectives. Let's look at this from Maurice, Sam, and Pearl Watts' side. Because at the end of the day, they are human beings first, before anything else. Yes, they are actors. Yes, they are public figures. But they are also individuals with personal lives, private thoughts, private decisions, and relationships, if there are any, are one of the most personal parts of someone's life. Now think about it. If there is something going on between them, that's not just a headline. That's something emotional, something real, something that belongs to them, not the public. And that changes how we should look at this situation. Now let's talk about pressure, because this is a big factor. The moment a relationship becomes public, everything changes. Suddenly, people are watching more closely, analyzing more deeply, judging more frequently. Expectations increase, opinions multiply, and that can be overwhelming, especially if the relationship is still developing. So sometimes people choose to keep things private, not because they're hiding something, but because they're protecting it. Now let's talk about timing. Even if Maurice, Sam, and Pearl Watts have something going on, that doesn't mean they're ready to share it. Timing matters. Some people prefer to wait, to be sure, to feel secure before making anything public. And that's completely valid. Now let's go back to the fans again, because their perspective also matters. Fans are not just being nosy for no reason. They're reacting to what they see. And what they see includes consistent interaction, strong chemistry, social media patterns, moments that feel a growing narrative over time. So from their point of view, it feels like something is being shown, but not explained. And that creates curiosity. Now let's talk about that word again, curiosity. Curiosity is natural. There's nothing wrong with wanting to understand something that feels interesting or mysterious. But when does curiosity turn into pressure? When does it become expectation? And that's where the conversation gets serious. Now let's talk about transparency. Would it help if Maurice and Pearl just came out and said something? Maybe. It could clear confusion. It could stop speculation. It could give fans a clear answer. But here's the other side. It could also create new problems, because once something is confirmed, the conversation doesn't stop. It actually changes. It becomes bigger, more intense, more personal. Now people start asking new questions. How serious is it? Are they getting married? What's next? And suddenly, what was once private becomes public property. Now let's consider another angle. What if the silence is intentional? What if they prefer things this way? Because by not confirming anything, they maintain control. They decide what is known and what isn't. And in a world where everything is constantly shared, that kind of control is powerful. Now let's talk about respect, because this is where everything comes together. At the end of the day, whether Maurice, Sam, and Pearl Watts speak or stay silent, It should be respected, because it's their life, their choice, their timing. Now let's take a deeper look at fan behavior, because this situation also reflects something bigger: how modern audiences interact with public figures. Social media has made everything feel closer, more personal, more accessible. But that closeness can sometimes blur boundaries. People start to feel like they know someone, like they're part of their life. And that's where expectations grow. Now let's ask the big question again. Should Maurice, Sam, and Pearl Watts tell the public the truth? Let's break it into two sides. Yes, they should tell the truth. It would bring clarity, it would stop speculation, it would answer fans' questions, it would control the narrative directly. No, they don't have to. They deserve privacy. Not everything needs to be public. Timing matters. Personal relationships are not public property, and honestly, both sides make sense. Now let's imagine both outcomes in detail. If they come out and confirm something, the internet will react immediately. Fans will celebrate. Discussions will explode. Everything becomes clear. But then a new phase begins: more attention, more expectations, more pressure. Now imagine the opposite. They say nothing. They continue as they are. The mystery stays alive. Fans keep guessing. The conversation continues, and in some ways that keeps people even more engaged. Now let's go even deeper. Why do people want this so badly? Because people love real connections. They love stories that feel genuine. And Maurice, Sam, and Pearl Watts give off that kind of energy. Whether it's real or not, it feels real. And that's enough to draw people in. Now let's talk about emotional investment. Fans are not just watching, they're feeling, they're hopping, they're imagining possibilities. And that emotional connection is powerful. But it also makes it harder to accept uncertainty. Now here's the reality: we may not get an answer anytime soon. And that's something fans might have to accept. Because at the end of the day, not every question gets answered. Now let's summarize everything clearly. Fans want the truth because they feel connected and invested. But Maurice, Sam, and Pearl Watts have the right to keep their personal lives private. Speaking out could bring clarity, but also pressure. Staying silent protects privacy, but keeps speculation alive. And there is no one right answer. Now it's your turn. Do you think Maurice, Sam, and Pearl Watts should tell the public the truth? Or do you think they should keep everything private no matter what? And if you were in their position, what would you do? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.